Happy Holidaze. Holidaze with a D-A-Z-E. Just so you know, it's not a typo. Something that happens to all of us during the holidays, isn't it? We go into it every year thinking, oh, well, it's just another holiday season. No big deal. We'll put up some tinsel and some lights and maybe bake some cookies and we're never prepared for all the stuff that comes with the holidays. It's draining. It's draining on everyone. And one thing I've seen a lot of on social media is people getting into fights. People getting into, it's Christmas time. They're getting into fights. And they're arguing with each other. They're arguing over mostly just petty stuff. Mostly. So, they argue to the point where they start blocking each other and they start, they unfriend each other and they block each other and they unfollow each other and they badmouth each other and a lot of times when someone has a bad experience with someone, sometimes they'll try to warn other people about them and say, hey, don't get mixed up with this person because this is what they do. But sometimes it can backfire on you. Because I know it happened to me, I'll get to that in a little while, but for the most part, we've got to, we got to keep it positive. Keep it positive. Positively positive. And it's not easy to do. I would love to tell you that, being positive is easy. It's easy, That's a lie. I'd be lying my ass off if I told you that. Because it's not easy. It's one of the hardest things to do. Because there's so much negativity in the world. And when I talk about negativity, when you hear people talk about negativity, you think, oh yeah, there's a lot of negative people out there. But we never stop to think that, don't we all have some negativity inside of us? Maybe some negativity that was instilled on us when we were younger. That something happened to us when we were younger that kind of changed our perspective in a negative way, and we never really got over that. And so now when you hear somebody saying something, it kind of triggers that response that, I just pissed someone off, or I just made someone upset or angry. And so we back off a little bit. And so, it's the important thing is we have to keep the lines of communication. It's keeping the lines of communication open. It's always important. Always important to everybody. Keep communicating. Don't stop communicating. Especially when people are important to you, don't stop communicating with them. And I really wish I could see who's watching me right now. I don't know if I can see through. Yeah, I don't know if I can see through the PC. I can't see through my phone. I stream through my phone. I live stream through my phone. And a lot of people think, well, why do you do it through your phone? Why just do it through your PC? Well, I've tried it through the PC and it's very, very wonky. It's just very weird. It's easier to just do it through the phone. So, Okay, I know I can go to my page on my PC on Facebook and see what's going on there. So I don't know if I can see. I don't know about, like, what am I trying to say? Okay, as far as feedback, I have no idea who's watching the show. I know nobody's watching it now, because I can see a little indicator box that says live. Usually it'll have a number next to it if somebody's watching it. But if someone were watching it, I have no idea who it would be. So I'm still learning. I'm still learning to use this, but I want to live stream. I want to live stream because I want to get the word out. I want to put the truth out there where it belongs, you know. And I think the problem before is we had maybe one or two people who were doing it, and, you know, social media, all they had to do was shut down those one or two people, and that was it. You know, there was no one to spread the truth. But the problem, you know, the thing is, there are so many of us who want to hear the truth. There are so many of us who want the truth. And perhaps it would make more sense if each one of us does a live stream. You know, each one of us reaches out to a small group of people, connects to a small group of people, and, you know, if it's only one or two people spreading the truth, and those one or two people can be shut down pretty easily. You know, when it's hundreds of people, that takes a little more effort. When it's thousands of people, I mean, I'm probably dreaming when I make that number up, but when it's thousands of people, it's like, how the hell are they going to shut everybody down, you know? And they do it based on reach, you know. It's like you don't have to reach a lot of people, you know. I do these live streams, and I think, well, yeah, I wish more people would watch my live stream, but, you know, I don't have to reach a lot of people. If I can reach just one or two people, if I can reach just a handful of people, and those people can reach a handful of people, and those people can reach a handful of people, you know, I mean, who knows how much of an impact it would have, you know? I mean, some of the great truthers out there, isn't that how they started? I mean, Debbie Lazinian, the same progressive. I don't know if she expected to have the kind of, you know, reach that she did. I'm sure she was overwhelmed by it, overwhelmed to the point where she just couldn't handle all the requests that, you know, people were asking her for, you know, information, for, you know, strategies, like, okay, what do we do? You know, what do we do? How do we do it? You know, how do we organize? How do we this, that, to that? And, you know, and she couldn't help us with any of that. You know, she wasn't trying to do any of that. She was just trying to get us to think. She was trying to get us to think critically. So she finally just kind of, you know, fell back into the background, so to speak. And, you know, I don't know if she's doing that. I hope she's, you know, that she's okay and everything's going well with her. I have no hard feelings toward her. You know, I can totally understand why she did what she did, because she got overwhelmed. She got overwhelmed because so many people were relying on her to do all the groundwork. And it was too much for one person. You know, it's too much for one person. And it is too much for one person. You know, if I try to take it on myself, I'd be like, fuck that. I couldn't handle it, you know. I couldn't handle it. You know, because I have other obligations. I have obligations to my wife and the household, and you know my mother. Uh, so I have obligations, and to do anything full time and while I'm fulfilling those obligations, that'd be a lot more challenging. You know, so I couldn't take on something like this by myself. I mean, no one could. Not even someone like Debbie Lazinian could do it. Claudia Stauber, well, what can I say? I mean, she needed a break. She needed a break, and I I know she's back. Maybe not to the same scale she was before, but you know, she and Debbie did so many great things together to keep us all informed. Not only to keep us informed, but just to keep us in the right mindset, to keep us thinking, thinking for ourselves, thinking freely, and not letting mass media tell us what to think and how to react to stuff. They told us to think for ourselves. They taught us how to think for ourselves. I think we know how to think for ourselves. But at some point in our lives, we were taught, no, you think this way. You think you think into this little box. This is the box. You cannot go outside this box. You cannot go outside the box. And you must think this way. And we just forgot that we can just ditch the box and say there are too many ways to look at this. There are too many ways to look at this to determine, is there any one, there's no just one way to look at something. There's no one way to look at something. There are a lot of ways to look at it, and there are a lot of ways not to look at it. Now, I'm probably not making a lot of sense right now, but, hopefully once I get a little more into topic, it'll come together. So I just ask that you bear with me. That's all I ask. So, right now I just have people popping in and out of my live stream, and I'm still new to this. I'm still learning. I don't expect to be on the level of someone like Ty or Gerard or Chris Lewis or Harsh Med, any of those guys that I admire, that because they were inspired by people like Debbie and Claudia, just like I was, and and they inspired me to do this. They're the reason I'm doing what I'm doing. So I'm not trying to compete with anyone. I'm just trying to, I just want to be heard. We all want to be heard, don't we? When people tell the truth, they want to be heard. Not because they want to be heard, but because they need to be heard. We need to be heard. We need to make ourselves heard. There are so many of us. If each and every single one of us spread the word, imagine how many people we could reach. Just all of us reaching out to just a few people. And instead of one person trying to reach out to thousands. I mean, I'm not going to reach out to 1,000 people. Not today. Not tomorrow. Not next week, probably not even next year. That's That's an unrealistic expectation. I don't expect to reach that goal. My expectation is to just reach out to enough people for them to spread the word about the truth, about the truth community, and who we are and what we stand for. And what we stand for is not, it's not a political party, it's not a politician, it's not any politician. What we stand for is, we stand for the end of corruption. I mean, okay, raise your hand if you want corruption in your government. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Anyone who wants corruption in your government. Nobody? Good. Me neither. Nobody wants corruption in your government. You know, that's something we can all agree on. So we should all be on the same side. Instead, we're being splintered and split up and broken apart into these little factions and sub-factions and sub-factions. You know? And this may come as a complete shock to you, but it's all by design. It's all by design. It is the programming is everywhere. It is everywhere. It is in the movies, the TV shows, you know, even the popular music. You know, it's like, hey, when it comes to music, give me the classics any day. You know, give me something like Country Joe and the Fish. You know, Country Joe and the Fish, you know, talking about LBJ saying, you know, we're going to send you back to Texas, make you work on your ranch. You know, I mean, or Edwin Starr, you know, going back to the Motown years, Edwin Starr saying, you know, war, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again, you know. So, why, you know, what happened to these ideas? What happened to this thinking? What happened to the, you know, the whole idea that, okay, killing people is wrong. Okay, killing people in self-defense is, that's kind of a gray area. Really, a gray area. I mean, if your life depended on it, would you use a weapon? I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you say yes, if you say no, I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to judge you either way. I will tell you this, though. I will tell you this. As far as, you know, slaughtering people to take their land, slaughtering people to take their, you know, their way of life, and then slaughtering people just because you can. I mean, if you're okay with that, then you should really, really think about where your priorities lie. And it doesn't matter which side you're on. You know, that's just it. That's just it. There shouldn't be any sides. There shouldn't be any sides. It's like, if you're a billionaire, there's only one side, you know? If, you know, for the billionaires, whether they're Democrat billionaires or Republican billionaires, red billionaires, blue billionaires, it doesn't matter. They're all on the same side. Do you see that now? They're all on the same side. When President George Bush died, the Republicans were singing his praises. What a great man he was. And you know what? And what do the Democrats have to say about him too? The Democrats loved him. The Democrats were singing his praises just as much as the Republicans were. You know why? Because they're all on the same side. They're on the same side. All of them. So, why the hell would you think that you're going to find solace in a politician? You're going to find solace in a celebrity. You're going to find solace in a political party because, they're endorsed by a celebrity who said something, nice and flowery, made some nice flowery speech that that made you, wow, that sounded really good. That sounded really good. They sounded like such a humanitarian. I'm going to do whatever that celebrity tells me to do, and if they endorse a political party, I'm going to endorse that political party too. Because, their nice flowery language, really inspired me. Don't be inspired by flowery language. Be inspired by actions. Be inspired by actions. Actions. Because actions tell you a lot more about someone than words do. Words don't tell you shit. Words don't tell you shit. Actions. Actions, that's what's important. Actions. If you're dating someone and they tell you, oh, I'm sorry, but I can't make it because yada yada, or I can't, I can't, they have to keep canceling their dates and making up reasons for it, and then you see them on a date with someone else. You see them on a date with someone else, and you're gonna start asking questions. And what are they gonna do? What is that person gonna do? They've been caught. What are they gonna do? Oh, well, this was just, they'll make an excuse. They'll make an excuse, and you'll just say, oh, okay. Everything's fine. Hee hee. It's like we can't let people do that to us. We can't let people do that to our emotions. We can't let people do that to our lives. We can't let people do that to our lives. We can't let people mess with our lives like that. These political parties, that's what they do. They mess with our lives. And we let them. We let them. We let politicians play with our emotions and lure us in with shiny objects. Ooh, look, candy, free candy, shiny objects. Ooh, Bernie Sanders, Bernie, shiny. That's what they do. And we fall for it. We fall for it every single time. I mean, let's just we're a community, and we need to be a community. We need to act like a community. We're not always going to agree on everything 100%. I don't expect us to. I mean, not everyone I know likes the stuff that I do. Not everyone I know likes the Beatles as much as I do. Not everyone I know likes vinyl as much as I do. And I have a lot of friends who love ketchup. They put ketchup on everything. I hate ketchup. I don't fault them for it. It's like, hey, look, it's okay. Here's the ketchup. You knock yourselves out. I'm not having any of it, but this is for you. Let people have their ketchup. Just because you don't want ketchup, fine. Let them have their ketchup. Let them have their ketchup. You know, I'm not having any. And that's my point. That's my point is, live and let live. Live and let live. So, so just to, so anyway, so the point I'm trying to make with all this is that communication, understanding, those are the keys. Let's just listen to each other. We spend so much time talking, but we don't listen. We don't listen, And when I started doing these live streams, what I was hoping to get out of it was some kind of feedback. If someone watches my live stream and gives me some feedback, then at least I'll know what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. And if they have questions, I can to have a conversation, a two-way conversation. When it's just one person talking, it's not a conversation. And right now, it's just one person talking. It's just me. And I see people popping in and out of here, and they pop in because they want to hear what I have to say, and then they pop back out again because I'm not saying anything that interests them. It's like, okay, well, what do you want to hear? Do you want to have discussion? Do you want to have discussion about something? Do you want to have a discussion? Because I would love to have a discussion. It's like, yeah, sure, let's talk about something. Now, the title of my video is Happy Holidays. That's DAZE. And that's funny because I can't remember the last time I actually talked about the holidays, because I started off on that and then got way the hell over in other stuff. But okay, I think my take on the holidays, regardless of what you celebrate, is it is so draining. It's so draining in all of us, and it is, because there's so much involved. It's like holiday season. Yeah, here's why people don't like the holidays. Because the holiday season is all about us pleasing other people. Pleasing other people. That means that, if your family members expect something from you, you have to please them. If your friends expect something from you, you have to please them, I know my wife has expectations of me, and I do my best to fulfill, if not exceed, those expectations as well. But there's so many other things, so many other expectations that we have during the holidays, and there's so many people complain about the holidays, the holiday music. For example, there's different kinds of holiday music, though. There's different kinds of holiday music. It's not all Bing Crosby. I like Bing Crosby. I wouldn't listen to him 24/7. That would drive me crazy. I'd stick a spike in my head, if I had to listen to that for too long. But if you mix it up with other stuff, it's not so bad. And people who work in retail, they have to, it's like, I feel for them because they have to listen to the music, and when you hear it in stores, when you hear it on the radio, when you hear it, it's like, when you don't have any, I'm a big music lover. When you don't have any control, it's a part of the environment you don't have any control over. So when you don't have that control, over the music that's playing, it can drive you crazy. You know, so after hearing Bing Crosby for the fifth time saying I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, it's like you just want to go knock over a display or something. It's like, yeah, it can be frustrating, and that's why you got mix it up a little bit. I have my own holiday music mix that I listen to. I have it on my iPod, iPhone, my music collection. It's my personal music collection, and it's a combination of digital and analog that I've converted to digital. It's a pretty eclectic collection of stuff, and yeah, there is Bing Crosby in it. I'll tell you what I don't have. I don't have any Mariah Carey. I don't have any Mariah Carey. Just don't. No Mariah Carey. No Katy Perry. No Taylor Swift. I don't think I have any Taylor Swift. I don't think I have any Taylor Swift. Yeah, I mean, just a lot of, it's like I pick and choose the holiday music I like to listen to, and then I collect it, and I put it into my mix, and then I put it on shuffle. And that's what I listen to during the holidays, The holiday season, for me, starts basically after Thanksgiving and goes on until, New Year's Eve. After New Year's Eve is, it's back to the regular music. But, that's how I do my thing. That's how I do my thing, And that's something I have control over. When you don't have control over it, it's a different situation. So yeah, that can be draining. That can be draining. Another thing that can be draining about the holidays is all the political correctness. Oh my God. Is it me, or has this just been a watershed year? Has this just been a watershed year for political correctness? It's like, just when you thought you've heard it all, somebody comes up with something else, It's like, someone has to be doing this on purpose. Someone is finding things wrong with with our society, things that we've accepted for years and never had a problem with. Because we all we're all pretty thick-skinned. Our generation, we grew up pretty thick-skinned, and I can confirm that I have thick skin, because if you watch my last live stream, I told you the story about how I got my arm stuck on a nail, and if I had thin skin, I could have just easily ripped it out. Didn't happen. EMTs had to come and pull my arm out. So here's the scar that left behind. So now it can be told, I have thick skin. I literally have thick skin. And figuratively I have thick skin, but that's only because it just took a long time to develop. I had to go through a lot of shit. And a lot of people my age, we went through a lot of shit. We all did. And our parents, they went through more shit than we did. So when you go through shit, it gives you a thick skin. Because you heal from it, and you make yourself stronger from it, because you know that you can't let it end you. You can't let it stop you. you know. So you develop a thick skin. And I worry about the younger generation today because they have such a thin skin. And it's just I mean I wouldn't say that society is hard to please. I mean, we're looking at hard to please in the rearview mirror. Okay? Society isn't hard to please. Society is just completely insatiable. Completely. There's no satisfying society. Ever. Ever. I mean, it's kind of been that way for a while, but lately it seems like it's gotten worse. I mean, it almost seems like there's no return. We're almost like it almost seems like we're past the point of no return. I mean, where do we go from here? You know, but I shouldn't say that because, you know, as I said before, just when I think I've heard it all, just when I think I've heard every possible thing that someone could get offended by, someone finds something else. And I was like, oh, it just doesn't, it never ends. And you have to hear about these discussions because they're on the media. They're on the mainstream media. They're on the mass media. They're everywhere. They're on every magazine cover. They're on every, Facebook page, mainstream Facebook page, and they're on every mainstream news channel. Arguments about dumb shit. Arguments about petty shit. Baby, it's cold outside. Is it a playful romp or is it a song that condones date rape? The song is 74 years old. You never thought about that before? You never asked that question before? You wait until now? You wait until now to bring it up? Why bring it up now? Because they need to keep finding things. The media needs to keep finding things to divide us, to keep us fighting, to keep us arguing. This little petty shit to keep us arguing. And we need to stop. We need to stop. Because it's petty. It's petty. We can't be against each other. Because we are all on the same side. It's like, if you're a billionaire, then you can't be with us. And if you support people who work for billionaires, who work to enrich billionaires, you can't be with us either. But if you don't want anything to do with billionaires, then you're one of us. You're one of us because we've had it. We've all had it. And we've all been conditioned to believe that we have, to blame certain people. And we're all, because there's so many of us, we have so many different ways of thinking. So it's like we're given different situations, different kinds of people to be mad at, different kinds of people to blame. Oh, it's because of those damn immigrants. It's because of those, those damn, politically correct liberals, or it's because of all those rednecks out in the woods living in trailer parks, No. It's because of people. It's people. The people that keep us down, who are also the ones that they keep us down because we let them keep us down. We idolize them. We hero worship them. Oh, look! It's Bernie Sanders! Bernie Sanders! Oh my fucking God! Bernie Sanders, we're not fit to loosen his sandal straps. We're not worthy. We're not worthy. Yeah. You know, and he opens his mouth and he speaks. And everybody people faint. They're just like, it's him. It's Bernie Sanders. You know, and he speaks. He's like, I'm Bernie Sanders. I'm going to give you all single payer. I'm probably lying through my teeth, but I know you don't really care. Because I'm Bernie Sanders. You know, and everybody just goes nuts. Ah! You have to excuse me, I'm trying not to get sick, or try not to get sicker. But what this what I was driving at with political correctness and people being easily offended. It's like we got to get away from that. We've got to stay focused. We've got to stay focused. We've got to keep our eyes on the prize. Keep our eyes on the prize. And the prize is no more oppression. No more, oppression. There's different kinds of oppression. There's financial oppression. There's physical oppression. And there's mental oppression. Which is all around us. It's all around us. It's everywhere. Mental oppression. We're bombarded. We're bombarded with thoughts and ideas that we're just puny little beings and that we're meant to serve, a greater class of people. Fact is, we're not meant to serve anyone but ourselves. We're not meant to serve anyone but each other, I think most of us know that. I think most people are humble. That's why we have the problems that we do, because there's so much humility in the world. We have a lot of humble people in the world. And we're so humble that we see ourselves as inferior. We see ourselves as, we're just lowly human beings, and these other people up here, we must worship them, and worship the ground they walk on. We must obey them, so they won't be mean to us and do nasty things to us. We have to be nice to them so they don't take our jobs away. So they don't. So we don't get kicked out of our houses. We need a place to live. We need a job. We need these things, and without this class of rich people, we can't have these things. That's what we're led to believe, and we need to get out of that. We need to get away from that. And so it's the political correctness. The political correctness is always draining, but it's worse during the holidays, because it seems like there's even more. It's like they find even more things to divide us over. Even more things, and we can't let that happen. It's like we can't be divided by petty shit. It's that simple. It's that simple. It's like, what? I was talking about Christmas music earlier. Hey, some people hate Christmas music of any kind, and that's fine. You don't have to like Christmas music, and some people love it. And some people are like, what do you mean you don't like Mariah Carey? What do you mean you don't like Katy Perry? I love Katy Perry, and good for you. I'm not, it's like, I don't like Katy Perry. It doesn't mean that you can't like Katy Perry. If you like Katy Perry, listen to Katy Perry. You know, I'm not going to tell people how to live, and I'm not going to tell people how to what to like and what not to like. Because I mean that's hypocritical. You know, I wouldn't let someone tell me what to like and what not to like, because we are who we are. You know, if anything, the only guidance we should be giving each other is to, for all of us, to remember that, anything, anything that leads us back to the establishment, anything establishment, left, right, which by the way is bullshit, because there's really left or right is always it's the same thing. It's the two wings of the same bird. That's all it is. Two sides of the same coin. Two sides of the same fucking coin. And it's the game. The game that they play with you is always the same. The game is heads, we win, tails, you lose. You see how that works? They flip a coin, heads or tails. And the game is heads we win, tails you lose. So, which basically means that, because if they win, you lose, and if you lose, they win. So basically, regardless of whether you hit heads or tails, they win and you lose. And you would have to be a fool to not see that and think, oh, it's just a game of chance. When you go out to the polls and vote, you think it's just a game of chance. It's not a game of chance. It's rigged. It's a rigged contest. It's this is the kind of thing we are made to put our energy into these things. So we don't have any energy left for the important stuff. And the important stuff is building communities. Building our communities, Getting to know our neighbors. Getting to know our getting to know other people. People who live around us or people who live elsewhere. That's one thing the one thing I like about social media, I don't hate social media. I don't love it either, but, it has pros and cons. And one of the pros of it is a great way to reach, many people. You can reach a lot of people through social media. Unless they censor your ass. But if you have the means to use it to reach as many people as possible, wouldn't you use it? I mean, you're not gonna say, oh well, I'm only gonna talk to people who like vinyl. It's like, if you don't like vinyl, get off my page, now, because I like vinyl and you don't. It's like, I don't care if you like vinyl or not. If you don't like, you don't have to like vinyl. You don't have to. Now, if you start picking on me, if you start putting me down, if you start criticizing me for liking vinyl, then all bets are off. You're on your own. But I'm not going to criticize you for not liking vinyl, because it's such a petty thing. It's a preference. It's a petty thing. I mean, because we have bigger fish to fry. And, and in terms of the holidays, in terms of the holidays, why it's so draining on all of us, because we're trying to please everybody all the time. Try that again. We're trying to please everybody all the time in every single way. And if somebody's, if we don't, if somebody's disappointed, if somebody's upset or angry, we see that as a failure on our part. It's not a failure. Not really, because, some people just can't be pleased. Believe me, I know. I know people in my life who are just never happy with anything, and and that's just how they are, and you live and let live, and you let them be. But I think for me, the holidays are, it's a celebration. And that's another thing people argue about. Oh, it's a celebration of our Lord Jesus Christ. No, it's a celebration of, it's Saturnalia. It's a pagan celebration of, the sun, the winter solstice, whatever. It's like, you celebrate whatever the hell you want. You celebrate whatever you want, It's like, was Jesus Christ born on Christmas Day? Some people say yes. Some people say no. Some people aren't really sure. And I say, what difference does it make? What difference does it make? It's like, hey, it's like, if you do believe in Jesus, and just because you believe in Jesus doesn't mean that you necessarily believe that he was born on December 25th, year zero. It doesn't mean that necessarily. It just means that this is a time of year that you observe the birth of the birth of Christ. This is a time of year that you observe that, and why wouldn't you? It's like you have. This is the one day of the year. What are you going to do? It's like, would you not observe the birth of Christ? Would you not observe, if you're a Christian? Of course you're going to observe the birth of Christ. Even if it's not December 25th, you don't know when it is. So, just don't get caught up in all the commercialism. This thing, that's a hot button topic for a lot of people. Is all the commercialism and all the, because we're all compelled to go out and get ourselves in debt to make other people happy. And again, it's part of the drain. It's the holiday drain. We want to make other people happy. And a lot of times, we deal with people sometimes who just aren't happy, ever. No matter what you do for them. And that's why the holidays can be so draining sometimes. And that's why some people just give up on them. Me, I went through that phase. Hey, sir. Good to see you. Thanks for the feedback. But what I'm saying about the holidays is if you're, okay, I totally lost my train of thought. But going back to what I was saying before, the holidays are like a time when you're trying to make everybody happy. And some people you just can't please. And You just have to accept that and just do what feels right to you. Because the holidays, the Christmas holidays especially, are about it's about joy. It's about joy, and it's like it doesn't have to be about buying the most expensive gift for someone you love or care about, and being worried that they're going to disown you because it's not the right color or the right size. I mean, who gives a shit about that stuff? I mean, who cares? It's petty. It's petty shit. Let's let's just focus on and what is the reason for this season? Well, a Christian would say Jesus Christ. An atheist would say, that's excuse me. An atheist would say, oh, it's the the winter solstice, or whatever reason, pagan celebration, whatever it might be. And it's like the reason for the season is just it's a time of year for us to reflect on where we are as a society and how we can do better, and the fact that it's so close to the end of the year, it's like it gives us kind of a week to refresh and rethink our how can we be better to other people, and that's for all of us. Some people don't want to be better, and they don't have to be. They don't have to be. That's entirely up to them. We just need to, as a people, we just need to be more understanding of each other and communicate better with each other. We need to start thinking how we can make 2019 better. Yes, Sarah, I agree with you. I agree with you 1,000%. And so we need to come together. Absolutely. All of us, we need to come together, And it's really sad when truthers fight with other truthers, and when truthers block other truthers, and I know a lot of us are guilty of that. I know I am. I'm not innocent at all, Yeah, this is any unity we find has to be outside the system. Any trying to find unity within the system, it's like no, there's no point. Because if you unify with the system, what are you unifying with? You're unifying with a system that's designed to enrich itself at your expense. And yes, you're absolutely right about that. You're absolutely right. There's a lot of people who say, "Oh, I'm part of the truth community too," but they're really just kind of pulling your chain, because they'll go on and on about about whatever Trump is doing, or whatever the Democrats are doing, or the Republicans are doing, and then once they have your attention, they'll say, okay, well, here's a political candidate that here's a political candidate or a political party that I think you should follow because yada yada yada, and as soon as someone says that, I'm done. I'm out. It's like I will unify. It's like I'll unify with people, but It's like what Sarah says, it has to be outside the system. It has to be outside the system, you know. And yeah, you walk away or you call them out. That's exactly what you do. You walk away or you call them out. You know, and it's like, hey, I'm an open-minded person. I can try to have discussions with people. And there's one guy in particular that I tried to have a discussion with, and he wasn't having it, so I blocked him. And I thought, hey, I should let people know what an asshole this guy is. I should let people know that this guy is not a truther. And he's not a truther in the sense that, I feel like a truther would be open-minded as far as wanting to hear the truth. Any truth. Even if it's truth that they don't agree with. If it's truth, why would you not want to hear it? You'd rather be lied to because it's more, because it fits your narrative? The narrative that you've been led to believe? Of course not. I mean, the truth hurts sometimes. It's a tough pill to swallow. But sometimes we have to swallow it. And yeah, I agree. It's like I don't just go blocking people willy-nilly. But if it's like I will try to have discussions with people. I will try to have discussions with them. And if they can't have a discussion with me, or if they just want to... Some people are just professional arguers. Some people are just professional arguers. You can say blue and they'll say green. You can say sky and they'll say earth or water. You can say whatever. You say day and they'll say night. They just contradict you just to do it. Yeah. I mean, there's you can agree to disagree, or you can disagree to disagree. You see what I mean? All right, Sarah, you take care of yourself. You take care of yourself. But I'm saying you can agree to disagree, or you can disagree to disagree. And disagreeing to disagree just makes the situation worse, because it makes the other person realize that you don't want to have a conversation. You don't want to have a conversation. All you want to do is argue. How much of that can we stand? How much of that can any of us stand? I can't stand. I can't stand much of that at all. I can't think of anyone who can. It's like, if someone's trying to be honest with you, someone's trying to tell you the truth, I mean, would you at least consider it? It may not fit the narrative. It may not fit the narrative that you've been told. Doesn't make it false. Because narratives are just their stories. And a narrative that comes from mainstream media, whether it's CNN or Fox, whether it's left or right, that narrative is just that. It's a narrative. It's a story. It's a story, and your greatest it's like a war. It's like a war that's being waged on us, and our only weapon is truth. Our only weapon is the truth. Our only weapon is the truth. And during the holiday season, our only weapon is our hearts and souls. Our greatest weapon is our hearts and souls. And the greatest gift you can give to anybody at all, anybody, is to listen, to understand, and to communicate. I mean, my God, does anybody have any idea how much better the world would be if people just communicated? People don't communicate. We don't communicate. We communicate through, we communicate like this. We communicate through, passive aggressive language. We communicate through passive aggressive language, oh, I'm just saying. It's the same. Okay. You don't have to listen to me. It's none of my business. It's none of my business. That's how we communicate. It's like, let's just be straight up with each other. Can we do that? Is that so hard? I mean, I think we all can, and we all should. We should. Let's, communicate, be honest with each other. And listen to each other. Listen. Why? Anybody home? Yeah, I'm not sure what the hell just happened. Hey, it's me. Okay. There we go. That's better. So anyway, I don't know, people are thinking, man, how high am I? Man, how much have I smoked right now? How much have I had to drink, At some point, Harsh is going to watch this and think, did I have too much to drink? How the hell did this happen? How did we get here? How the hell did we get here? How did this happen? I can just hear Harsh asking that right now. I can hear Ty saying, I want I want your dope. I want all your dope. All your dope, darling. All your dope. It's a lot easier to do. It's a lot easier to do these things when I can just be myself, and be relaxed and comfortable. Because when I'm nervous and I'm like this, and I don't want to offend anybody or upset anybody. It's like those of us who come on the live stream. We I give kudos. I give kudos to people who can do this on a regular basis because it's tough. It's tough. I mean, especially when you don't feel like anybody's watching you, you don't feel like anybody's listening to you, you don't feel like anybody cares. It's tough. But if you don't do it, how else are you going to get the word out? How else are people going to know who we are and what we stand for? What do we stand for? We stand for the truth. It's that simple. It's that simple. It's that simple. Pardon me. It's that simple. So, the truth is that we are who we are, And we're okay with it. We accept each other. And we look out for each other. You know, and the one thing I personally that I don't have tolerance for is I don't like bullying. I don't like. I feel like truthers shouldn't have to bully other truthers. You know, and when someone starts bullying a truther, you know, when someone in the truth community is starting to bully someone in the truth community, that's when I got to step in and say, okay, you know, this isn't right, you know. And I have a hard time understanding how people can see bullying happen and think, oh, and okay, okay, I'm trying to say this. How do people can see bullying happen and side with the bully? I mean, the only way you can do that is if the person being bullied is, you know, if the bullying is justified. You know, it's hard to justify bullying. I'm not saying you can't justify bullying, but, you know, I didn't feel like I was saying anything that I shouldn't have been saying. You know. But, you know, it is what it is, and we are who we are. And I think that you know, as much as, you know, I mean, we're like a family. We're like a dysfunctional family. We argue sometimes, we disagree sometimes, but we still respect each other. I mean, I get mad at people sometimes. I get mad at truthers sometimes. I certainly wouldn't try to bully them. But, you know, if I felt like they were bullying me, I feel like I should certainly have the right to speak up and say so. I mean, if you're being bullied, you have a right to say so. But you have to communicate it, and, you know, in a very matter of fact manner, and, you know, and not in an accusatory tone, because that's when things can go south pretty quickly. So it's just something to think about. Something to think about for all of us. For me, for you, for everybody. So, I'm going to wrap this up right now, because it's already after 11 o'clock here in the Central Time Zone. So, my wife's probably wondering if I'm still awake, why I'm still awake. So, anyway, just wanted to tell everybody to, you know, because I know nobody's watching, but I know, you know, but, you know, in case anyone watches this video, you know, after it's uploaded to the page, and I've been uploading these on YouTube as well, you know, when I can. So anyway, I'll do that. And okay, so anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. And this is okay, I really mean this time. I'm going to wrap this up. So I tell everybody good night, and remember that it's better to be a smartass than a dumbass. Good night.